something for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I made jokes about the Houston Texans a few weeks ago when they played the Dallas Cowboys and they had that nice little lead and it looked like they was gonna go win and then in the second half it just all of a sudden just disappeared and Lovie Smith forgot what he was doing in the first half that was working. And then the Colts just turn around and do the same type of scenario, but this was much worse. And then there was a poll out there, shout out to Zach Hicks, that mentioned which game was worse, this one or the loss against Jacksonville, and everyone still chose Jacksonville because that still was definitely a winnable game. Both games still, just disgusting to watch because this team, you've seen it like the first half, you just knew like it was like okay, this team actually might win today, and there was this whole Saturday on Saturday meme and all these things going in the first half. We was feeling good, feeling great,
Yeah.
and then little did you know, the Colts just pulled the Indianapolis Colts in historic fashion. It was just terrible. So mentally, how are you feeling after the game? You feel like you're more confident in this draft thing going on moving forward.
As far as like securing like a top pick, yeah, I'm definitely definitely feeling confident that they get a top pick. But as far as just like being a fan of the Colts and like watching the Colts, because I was actually like I said, I picked the Colts to win, and like I was actually wanting the Colts to win this game in a weird way, and I actually tweeted out, which obviously came back to bite me in the butt, that this was the one game that I needed this season, and it just so happened to be like right before we play on Christmas. I was like, Merry Christmas, Colts fans. I put that in the tweet. Merry Christmas, Colts fan. And in true, like you said, in true Indianapolis Colts fashion, they turned into the Grinch and they stole Christmas right from under us, man. Um,
Yeah,
and it's just crazy to think about. Bad teams consistently find ways to lose ball games. And this was like literally a historic way to lose a ball game. The largest comeback in NFL like history ever. Um, so yeah, and now I almost feel bad for Matt Ryan now because now he's been part of the largest. He's been the losing quarterback on the largest regular season comeback in history and the largest Super Bowl comeback in history. And those are
yeah.
those are two things you don't want attached to your name.
You,
So yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty rough uh, for Matt Ryan a little bit, but uh, I forgot to say too, Mike, if you're watching, if you're listening, hope everything's well over there for you, buddy. We're missing you on the show tonight. I for one am definitely missing Mike's energy on the show. I was so excited to get Mike on the show tonight. So we'll have him next week. But yeah, hope everything's going well, buddy. We miss you. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that, man.
definitely was looking forward to a Mike rant tonight because he knew he was going to have one, and we
Historic Mike
a
rant. This was
historic.
a historic Mike rant for a historic collapse.
That was just disgusting to watch. Poor Matt Ryan, his whole career, is pretty much in shambles now because of this the thing that's hanging over his head with this comeback scenario with the Super Bowl and now this against the Vikings, who is probably one of the best teams in the NFL that you almost beat. I mean, at the beginning of the game, they look fine. They look fine, and then Jonathan Taylor gets injured and the fumbles started happening and everything else just started to dwindle down. I also, before we go ahead and moving forward, I still want to give credit to Gus Bradley and that defense, man. Like, as special teams, Bubba Ventrone, the special teams, hands down, the only reason why we had a chance to win this game. They were playing lights out. Zaire Franklin was playing lights out. Hurricane Dyer, we're going to get into, Grover Stewart and DeForest, they're still doing their thing. Grover even did the gritty tonight, and it didn't even pay off. I am so heartbroken. And
That's
it was a
tough.
decent gritty, too. It was a decent one.
That's tough. It's better than my gritty for sure. And man, like I'll say this too, man, because I see a lot of people now online blaming the defense, like in that for that second half collapse, and they're like, "How can you give up that many points? Like, how can you blow that type of a lead?" And no, it's not absolving the defense because you still got to keep them off, keep them out of the end zone for sure. But man, they were on the field a lot because the offense, once again, could not sustain any type of drive. Like there was a point in that game that the Colts were leading 30 to nothing. They had 140 yards total on offense, and they were up 30 to nothing. Like that's insane. That's insane. So it's misleading to sit there and say like, "Oh, well, the Colts, the offense did its job. They, 30 to nothing." Dude, the offense didn't do much of anything, and that defense, like, yeah, like Alan here says, defense has got to get a break. They've got to get rest because they were on the field almost that entire second half and overtime, and like as the game goes on, that takes its toll, and you saw it in the Cowboys game. Now you saw it in this game